All right, you degenerates, strap yourselves in. Today, we're going deep on Conor McGregor.
The notorious one.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is the motherfucker who talked the talk, walked the walk, and, yeah, sometimes ended up face down on the canvas.
Complicated character, to say the least.
Complicated. That's putting it mildly. We're using his Wikipedia page as our source material today.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Let me tell you, this shit reads like a goddamn soap opera. Whiskey, brawls, arrests, and enough ego to fill the octagon 10 times over. Jesus.
Love him or hate him, you can't deny he's had a massive impact on combat sports.
Yeah, and on a few jaws, too. But before we get to the notorious antics, let's rewind to the origin story. Crumlin, Dublin, right?
Working class upbringing. Wasn't born with a silver spoon, that's for sure.
Tough upbringing.
Yeah. He was into sports early on, though. Football and boxing at 12. Seems like he always had that fighter's instinct.
Boxing at 12? Shit, I was still picking boogers and playing Pokemon at that age. Must have been a rough neighborhood.
He's talked about using boxing to deal with bullies, build his confidence. It was a way to channel that aggression.
Makes sense. Dude's got a chip on his shoulder the size of Ireland. So when did he transition from boxing to MMA? Was it love at first sight kind of thing, or did he just stumble into it?
Well, he moved to Lucan with his family, and that's when he started training MMA at Street Blast Gym under John Kavanagh.
Straight Blast Gym, huh?
Yeah. That partnership, it was pivotal, really shaped him as a fighter.
Okay, hold up. Before we get to the glory days, let's cut the crap for a sec. He lost some early fights.
Yeah.
Like, tapped out a couple times. Mr. Mystic Mac wasn't so prophetic back then.
Yeah, he did have some setbacks, especially against grapplers.
Especially against grapplers.
Yeah, but those early losses, they were crucial learning experiences. He adapted, refined his style, and that's how he became the knockout artist we know today.
So those losses were like a blessing in disguise. Humility served up with a side of rear naked choke.
You could say that.
Yeah.
He learned to respect the ground game, but he also realized his strength was in his striking.
His stand-up game.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the rise of the double champ.
Yeah.
Didn't he tear through the UFC like a fucking tornado?
Yeah, his ascent was rapid. You know, he won both the featherweight and lightweight titles in Cage Warriors before even setting foot in the UFC.
Cage Warriors.
Dude was already a two-division champ, which is unheard of.
Damn. So he was like a prepackaged superstar when he finally hit the big leagues.
Pretty much. He came in with this swagger, this unshakable belief in himself, and he backed it up. Knocked out Marcus Brimage, Max Holloway, Diego Brandao, Dustin Poirier. He was unstoppable.
And he beat Holloway, the guy who's basically the featherweight Jew AT now. Damn, Conor was a beast back then.
This was before Holloway hit his prime. Remember, we're talking 2013, 2014?
Right.
But it still shows you the level Conor was operating at.
Right. Still fucking impressive. And then came the Jose Aldo fight, the one they hyped up with that insane world tour. Like a couple of rock stars on a bender.
Yeah, that world tour was a masterclass in promotion. They went all out. Trash talk, stare downs, the whole shebang. It created this insane level of anticipation.
And then Aldo breaks a rib.
Yeah.
Chad Mendes steps in. What a letdown. Conor must have been pissed off, ready to rip Aldo's head off.
Definitely frustrated, but, you know, he rolled with the punches, fought Mendes for the interim featherweight title, showed his adaptability.
And he won, right. Yeah. Even with a last-minute opponent change.
After a tough first round, he finished Mendes in the second, showed his grit, his ability to overcome adversity.
So even without his A-game, he gets the belt. Classic Conor. Always finds a way to win. But let's be honest, the Aldo fight was the one everyone wanted. The culmination of all that trash talk and anticipation.
UFC 194, it was electric.
Electric, yeah.
And then boom, 13 seconds, left hook, Aldo face down on the canvas.
13 seconds, you're shitting me.
Nope. Fastest knockout in a UFC title fight ever.
Holy shit. That's got to be some kind of record.
It is. And it catapulted Conor into superstardom. From that moment on, he was a global icon.
Mystic Mac prediction came true. He knocked Aldo out in the first round, just like he said he would. So double champ status achieved. What's next? Did he immediately go for the lightweight belt?
Not so fast. He decided to jump up to welterweight first. Fought Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz. That's the Stockton motherfucker. Why the hell would he do that? Seemed like a suicide mission.
It was a risky move. It was a last-minute replacement for Rafael Dos Anjos.
Dos Anjos, right.
But Conor, he's always been about taking risks, pushing boundaries.
Risky is one word for it. Stupid is another. And he got his ass handed to him, didn't he? Tapped out by the Diaz guillotine.
Diaz submitted him in the second round. It was Conor's first UFC loss.
First UFC loss.
Yeah.
That must have bruised his ego big time. Did he ever get his revenge?
Oh, yeah. UFC 202.
202.
One of the most brutal back-and-forth wars you'll ever see.
I bet it was. Who won? Don't keep me in suspense.
Conor won by majority decision.
Majority decision.
But it was a razor-thin victory, a fucking bloodbath.
Which got his revenge, but it wasn't easy. Diaz really pushed him to the limit.
Absolutely. It was a testament to Conor's heart, his ability to dig deep and come back from adversity.
All right, I'm starting to see why this guy's such a big deal. He takes risks, fights anyone, always puts on a show. But let's talk about his fighting style for a second. You're the expert. Break it down for us. What makes Conor tick inside the octagon?
Well, he's a counter striker, loves to stay on his feet. He's got this pull-back left-handed counter that's become his signature move.
Pull-back left-handed counter.
Precision, timing, and that devastating left hand.
That touch of death, left hand. He's got some serious power, that's for sure.
He can end a fight in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
but he's also a brilliant tactician. He sets traps, uses his movement to create angles, picks his shots.
So it's not just brawling. He's got some serious technique.
Absolutely. He's a student of the game, constantly evolving. And then there's the mental warfare.
Ah, yes, the mental warfare.
The trash talk, the mind games, the whole notorious persona.
Is that all an act, or is he really that much of an asset?
It's hard to say, but he's a master manipulator. It's part of his game plan, and it's incredibly effective. Gets under his opponent's skin, throws them off their game.
And it sells fights.
Yeah.
People love the drama, the shit-talking, the whole spectacle.
Exactly. He's a marketing genius, just like Muhammad Ali was back in the day.
Don't compare him to Ali. Ali was a legend, a cultural icon. Conor's just a loudmouth with a lucky punch.
Hey, I'm not saying they're on the same level, but there are similarities in their approach to self-promotion. They understand the power of hype, the importance of building a narrative.
All right, maybe you got a point. But Conor's got a long way to go before he reaches Ali's status. Speaking of which, let's talk about the Mayweather fight. What the fuck was he thinking stepping into a boxing ring with one of the greatest boxers of all time? It was like watching a lamb walk into a slaughterhouse.
Well, it was a spectacle, a crossover event that captured the world's attention.
And a massive payday for both of them, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they make like $1 gazillion? Conor probably bought himself a solid gold yacht with that money.
Hey, it was one of the richest fights in history.
So tell me, how did the fight actually go? Did Conor get knocked the fuck out in the first round?
He actually held his own for a few rounds, surprised a lot of people with his stamina. But Mayweather's experience and technical brilliance were just too much.
So he lost. No surprise there.
He lost by TKO in the 10th round.
At least he made it out of the first round. I guess that's something.
It was a learning experience, to say the least.
All right, let's move on from the boxing debacle. Didn't he start a whiskey brand? Trying to be all sophisticated and shit?
He did. Proper no. 12 Irish whiskey.
Proper no. 12. What kind of stupid name is that?
It's a reference to his Crumlin roots.
Oh, so he's trying to be all sentimental. Didn't think he had it in him.
Well, the whiskey's been a huge success. Sold millions of bottles worldwide.
Really? People actually drink that shit.
He's got a knack for marketing, that's for sure. And he's built a loyal fan base who buy into his brand no matter what it is.
Maybe he should stick to whiskey and leave the fighting to the professionals.
He's made a fortune from both.
All right, enough about the booze. Let's get to the good stuff, the controversies.
Oh, boy.
This is where things get really interesting. Because, let's be real, Conor's never been one to shy away from a bit of chaos.
There's been no shortage of controversy surrounding him, that's for sure.
Let's start with the bus attack. He literally chucked a dolly at a bus full of fighters. What the fuck was he thinking?
Well, it stemmed from a confrontation between Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor's teammate, Artem Lobov.
Nurmagomedov.
Conor, being the loyal motherfucker he is, decided to retaliate.
So it was a revenge attack, like something out of a gangster movie.
You could say that.
And he ended up injuring a couple of fighters in the process. Michael Chiesa, Ray Borg, could have seriously fucked him up.
He faced multiple charges. Assault, criminal mischief, the whole shebang.
Did he do any jail time?
He avoided the slammer but had to perform community service and attend anger management.
Anger management.
Yeah.
For Conor McGregor, that's like trying to teach a pit bull to knit.
It's safe to say he didn't exactly learn his lesson.
Okay, so what about the brawl after the Khabib fight? That shit was insane.
Absolute chaos.
Absolute chaos.
Khabib submitted Conor and then jumped out of the cage and attacked one of Conor's cornermen.
And then Conor jumped in, swinging at Khabib's team.
It was a full-blown riot, security guards everywhere, trying to contain the mayhem.
It was like a scene from a goddamn prison movie. Totally unprofessional. tarnished both their reputations.
Yeah, both ended up with suspensions from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Not a good look for either of them.
So besides the bus attack and the post-fight brawl, what other shit has Conor gotten into? Because I knew there's more. The dude's got a rap sheet longer than my arm.
Driving offenses, assault charges, even accusations of sexual assault.
All up. Sexual assault. Now we're talking serious shit. This isn't just about being a drunken asshole. This is some next-level fucked up behavior.
There have been multiple allegations, some of which are still ongoing.
Damn, Conor. You've really gone off the rails.
It's a disturbing pattern of behavior.
I mean, he's got the money, the fame, the family. You'd think he'd have it all figured out. But maybe that's the problem. Too much, too soon.
Sometimes success can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it can definitely go to your head.
Especially when you're surrounded by yes men and enablers.
Okay, let's unpack these allegations a bit. What about the alleged attack on the yacht? That sounds pretty messed up. Celebrating your birthday, getting drunk, and beating up a woman. What a classy move.
A woman accused him of assaulting her on his yacht during his birthday party in Ibiza. She claimed she had to jump off the yacht to escape, suffered a broken arm.
Jesus Christ, Conor. This isn't just bad publicity. This is some seriously fucked up shit.
The allegations are serious, and they could have serious consequences for his career and his personal life. The case is still under investigation, so we'll have to see how it plays out.
Okay, so we've covered the early days, the rise to fame, the big fights, the money, the whiskey, and the controversies. We've seen Conor at his best and at his worst. So what does it all mean? What's Conor McGregor's legacy? Is he a hero, a villain, or just a really messed up dude with a knack for knocking people out?
It's a complicated question. He's a brilliant fighter, a gifted athlete, a master showman, but he's also flawed, impulsive, and seemingly prone to self-destruction.
Yeah, he's a walking contradiction, a puzzle wrapped in an enigma, drenched in Irish whiskey.
He's achieved incredible success, but seems to be constantly battling his own demons.
It's like he's on a self-destructive mission, trying to sabotage everything he's built. But maybe that's part of his appeal. The danger, the unpredictability, the fact that he could implode at any moment. He keeps people watching, keeps them talking.
Only time will tell what his ultimate legacy will be, but it's a story that's far from over.
All right, that's it for part one of our deep dive into the wild world of Conor McGregor. We've covered a lot of ground, but there's still more to come. Join us for part two, where we'll explore his attempt to pivot into politics. Yeah, you heard that right. Politics. His foray into bare-knuckle boxing, and the lingering question of whether he can ever redeem himself after all the shit he's pulled.
It's going to be a fascinating journey.
Stay tuned, you degenerates. And don't forget to share your thoughts on social media using the hashtag #DeepDiveMcGregor. We want to hear what you think about this complicated, controversial, and undeniably captivating motherfucker.
So we left off with Conor teetering on the edge of self-destruction.
Yeah, downward spiral, all that.
Right. Let's talk about his attempt to pivot into politics.
Politics. The dude who can barely keep his fist to himself wants to run a country. Is this a fucking joke?
Well, in 2023, there were reports he was considering running for president of Ireland.
President of Ireland, the man who throws dollies at buses wants to lead a nation. This is fucking priceless.
Well, he claimed he was motivated by dissatisfaction with the government's handling of various issues.
Yeah, right. Like he gives a shit about anything besides himself and his fat bank account. This has got to be a publicity stunt.
Well, he specifically mentioned concerns about the allocation of funds and the public feeling ignored.
He's full of shit, you know that, right?
Yeah.
He's probably just bored and looking for another way to stay in the spotlight. Maybe he's got to make Ireland great again. Hat tucked away somewhere.
He did get some attention. Even Elon Musk chimed in on Twitter saying it wasn't a bad idea.
Elon Musk. Figures. Two peas in a pod, those two. Both love stirring the pot and making headlines. What a fucking circus that would be.
Polls suggested he wouldn't have much of a chance of winning.
No shit. Who in their right mind would vote for that loose cannon?
Perhaps those who are drawn to his anti-establishment rhetoric.
Yeah, there are always a few crazies who think a celebrity strongman is the answer. Thank God this whole political charade never went anywhere.
Well, his political aspirations, real or not, haven't amounted to anything concrete yet.
Thank fuck for that. Let's move on to something a little less terrifying. What about his involvement in bare-knuckle fighting championship?
BKFC, bare-knuckle boxing.
Yeah, isn't that even more brutal than regular boxing?
It is. No gloves, just bare fists.
Jesus. So what, is he fighting in these bare-knuckle brawls, or is he just promoting them?
Well, in 2024, it was announced that he and his company, McGregor Sports and Entertainment, had become part owners of BKFC.
So he's not just fighting anymore, he's running the show. Figures? Always got to be the center of attention.
Well, he's a businessman, remember? He sees an opportunity, he takes it.
I bet he's already planning some crazy, over-the-top BKFC events. Probably going to have him fighting on top of the Eiffel Tower or some shit.
Only time will tell what he has in store for BKFC.
Okay, before we wrap this up, let's go back to the question of his legacy. We've talked about all the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. So what's the verdict? Is Conor McGregor a legend or a train wreck?
It's not a simple answer.
It never is with this guy.
Yeah. He's undeniably talented, charismatic, a game changer, but he's also made some serious mistakes. The kind that can't be erased with a good PR campaign.
Yeah, he's like a Shakespearean tragedy. Rose to the top, got blinded by the fame and fortune, and now he's spiraling out of control.
He's broken records, made millions, inspired countless people, but he's also alienated fans, tarnished his reputation, and potentially jeopardized his future.
So what's the final score? Is he more good than bad? Or is he just a really good fighter who happens to be a massive asshole?
That's not for us to decide. His legacy will be debated for years to come. But it's clear that he's a complex dude with a lot of demons. Whether he conquers those demons or lets them consume him, well, that's the real fight.
Well, folks, last call on our Conor McGregor bender, the million-dollar question. Can this motherfucker actually redeem himself?
It's a question that only he can answer through his actions. Words are cheap, especially coming from a guy like Conor.
Let's be real, he's fucked up royally. Assaults, arrests, that whole bus attack fiasco. The dude's got a knack for making headlines for all the wrong reasons.
He's made serious mistakes, no doubt, and those have had consequences. But it's not uncommon for athletes, especially those who skyrocket to fame and fortune so quickly, to grapple with personal demons.
So you're saying it's okay for him to act like a jackass because he's famous? That's a load of bullshit.
Not at all. Fame just amplifies pre-existing issues. It puts them under a microscope. It doesn't excuse the behavior, but understanding the context helps.
Okay, but context doesn't give you a free pass to be an asshole.
Yeah.
He's a grown-ass man. He needs to own his shit.
And to some extent, he has. He's expressed remorse, sought treatment for anger management, focused on his business ventures and family. Actions speak louder than words, right?
So you're saying there's hope for our boy Conor, that he can pull himself out of this nosedive?
There have been signs of growth and maturity, but only time will tell if he can stay the course. It's a long road to redemption.
It is a long road to redemption. So it all comes down to whether he can keep his shit together. No more drunken brawls, no more assaulting people, no more acting like a goddamn lunatic.
Essentially, yes. Consistent, positive change, not just in his personal life, but in his public persona, too. He needs to walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
But let's be honest, the dude's a goddamn attention whore. He thrives on controversy. Can he really change his stripes? Or is the notorious persona just too ingrained?
It's a challenge, but it's not impossible. He's got a platform, a voice, the resources to make a real impact if he chooses to. Imagine Conor using his influence for good.
So instead of chucking dollies at buses, he could be out there, saving the rainforest or some shit. That would be a sight to see.
Precisely. Advocating for causes he believes in, supporting charities, mentoring young athletes, it would be a hell of a turnaround.
I'll admit it'd be pretty damn impressive if he pulled that off.
Yeah.
From notorious bad boy to philanthropic saint. That's a redemption arc worthy of a Netflix documentary.
It would be a remarkable transformation, a complete rewrite of his legacy, but it takes more than a few PR stunts and charitable donations. It's got to be genuine.
Can he resist the temptation to revert to his old ways? Because, let's face it, chaos follows this guy around like a bad smell.
That's the million-dollar question. He needs to prove that this change is real, that it's sustainable, that he's not just putting on a show for the cameras.
So what's the verdict? Is there hope for Conor McGregor? Or is he destined to be remembered as a cautionary tale, a what could have been kind of story?
Hope is always there. Redemption is possible. But it's on him to earn it. The ball's in his court.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Conor McGregor saga. A wild ride through the highs and lows of fame, fortune, and self-destruction. We see the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Where this story goes next, well, that's up to Conor.
He's a complicated character, a product of his environment, his ambition, and his demons. It's a reminder that success doesn't guarantee happiness, and that sometimes even the brightest stars burn out.
That's a pretty deep thought for a guy who usually just talks about punching people in the face. So one last time, what's your final take on Conor McGregor? Legend, train wreck, or something in between?
He's a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most talented individuals can be brought down by their own flaws. But he's also a testament to the possibility of change, however unlikely it may seem. It's up to each of us to decide how we want to remember him.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the enigmatic legacy of Conor McGregor. Hero, villain, or just a flawed human being trying to find his way. You decide.
And as always, we encourage you to share your unfiltered, no bullshit thoughts on social media using hashtag #DeepDiveMcGregor. Let's keep this conversation going.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and try not to punch any mascots, or throw dollies at buses, or do any of the other stupid shit Conor's gotten himself into. And if you're ever offered a glass of proper 12, maybe just stick to beer. Peace out.